around for a very long time now, and it raises many concerns, right, as rightfully it should. Most of us are familiar with the expression, Big Brother is watching, and if you're like me, maybe you've been made to feel uncomfortable walking down the street with the constant stare of cameras all around you. Maybe you felt like a fish in a fishbowl. But if surveillance technology is never going away, we have to find a way to work with it. How might surveillance technology actually guarantee your rights and your freedom? How might we actually use surveillance on our side and become Big Brother? I am talking about body-mounted cameras for police. This is a diagram of a body-mounted camera. And this is a police officer who has a body-mounted camera. And something you said is that any visual aid should be big and bold, and you should be able to see it. The thing is, here it is right here. Here's the body-mounted camera. Can you see it? You can't. It's hard to see. It's so small and so delicate that most people won't even notice it. It's not a big, cumbersome piece of equipment. So, there are many reasons why something like that is necessary. According to SBLC.org, the Ferguson incident incited many massive protests. But what actually happened that fateful day on Ferguson? Unfortunately, we really don't have a perfect, clear account of the incident itself. There were so many different eyewitness accounts that it was impossible to form a clear picture of what happened that fateful day. The incident brought much awareness to other instances of unnecessary police force. The culture of resentment towards police is unacceptable. If we cannot respect the protectors of the law, how are we going to respect the law? And the law is important. It's the DNA on which our society is founded. This is a quote from David Fage, who was a public defender in the Bronx City. Everyone assumes that as a citizen, we should respect the criminal justice system. What is often overlooked is that the system should respect the citizens as well. Behind every case, there's an anxious client who has to take a day off work, or who needs to pick up her child from daycare, or who is nervous about an appointment with the welfare office, or a meeting with her parole officer. All of them have a life that has been put on hold until they get to see the judge, and all are counting on us to be there. And when he says us, he's talking about other public defenders. Getting arrested in and of itself is a huge issue. It really throws a monkey wrench into your life. I'm not even just talking about getting convicted, I'm talking about getting arrested. If you're arrested, it should lead to a conviction. You should be arrested for a rightful reason. And with the placement of body-mounted cameras, we'll be able to confirm those arrests. We'll be able to have an accurate record of that. Now, one thing that getting arrested also does is it destroys your credibility, which means you no longer really have a say in how society runs or functions. It's a big, big problem. This is a quote from John W. Hartman, who was a criminal defense attorney in New Jersey. I attended a seminar given by some nationally renowned trial experts. In their presentation on jury selection, I expected to hear about the type of people you want to pick. And when I say type, I mean race, sex, religion, age, that sort of thing. Well, I was in for a rude awakening. The only advice these experts gave was to pick someone who was accused of a crime and eventually exonerated. Oh, really? Pick someone who was once falsely accused? What great insight. Pick someone who was falsely accused? Oh, really? What great insight. Thank you so much for that pearl of wisdom, that gem from numbers, that message from on high. Pick somebody who was falsely accused. You guys must have really rubbed your brain cells together to come up with that one. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Everybody knows that, especially the state. Nobody who has ever been falsely accused of a crime will ever, and I mean ever, see the inside of a jury room unless the prosecutor is 90 years old and ready to take his seat on the drool table. Now, to me, what that quote means is that if you are even accused of a crime, and if the system actually messed up and falsely accused you and you were able to beat the case, you no longer have a say in anything. You no longer have a say to exonerate other people who might have been wrongly accused. And it's a big, big issue. Now, as far as evidence goes, body-mounted cameras will make pure fact and evidence necessary. No more will this he said, she said stuff happen again. You know, the problem is many poor people cannot afford to hire lawyers who will in turn hire investigators that will investigate this case. All three of these books determine that the best criminal defenses are always from great investigators. This is the book Beyond a Reasonable Doubt, which is a selection of essays by trial experts, lawyers, law professors, that sort of thing. This particular lawyer is a criminal defense lawyer named Lawrence Barcella Jr. There are grave imbalances, however, in access of those facts. In civil cases, where money is usually at stake, there is virtually open discovery between the plaintiffs and defendants as to what the likely evidence would be. In criminal cases, on the other hand, where an individual's liberty is at stake, the government is in almost singular control of the evidence. This means that the only way that you can get a fair trial as a poor citizen is to hire a good lawyer, which most people can't do. These body-mounted cameras will facilitate in that hugely. In conclusion, we don't live in a perfect society, and we never will, because we are not perfect people. But what we can do is make a system that's based off of fact, not fiction. None of this speculation will ever come into play. If you're a mother, your children have to grow up with the best police there is, because these are the protectors of them. These are the protectors of us. Thank you.